motherfuckers. Child number 5. Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. I'll have a look. The thing is, I can't even add emotes yet. It's really depressing. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What, are you jealous?
Hey!
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. Yeah. And then you won't stop spamming it, and I know that. I'm aware of that's how this is gonna go. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But we stood there for 5 full minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here or what?
What?
Jesus. Did I scare you?
Come on.
Demand an explanation. Why'd you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Yeah, he's giving me some prime content here. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? It's not okay. If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. I'm always waiting for you, honey. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look. Hey, I'm here and no rule's been broken. My queen is here. Kyoko. Kyoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Everyone's been talking shit, saying, oh, she's dead, her body's clearly Kyoko. I'm like, no, you've got to believe in your girl, don't you? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially. I bet you'll be sorry later.
Shing!
No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts into the elevator. I'll just be one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko.
Ah!
Weird, I actually haven't seen her face in like a while. So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God, I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. What do you mean? Of course it is. It's the weirdest thing you've said. Huh? That's right, now I've got to deal with the ghosts. Told you to stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me! Cool, who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Hey, Ruru. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? Oh. No. I think it's... I'm used to stumbling over my words all the time. It's fine. You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to.
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Kyoko's account. Bit late for more fucking clues, innit?
just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on our surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would you say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all... Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Let's go on. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was just the light bulb. It was the blinding light of despair. Torture.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
That would hurt my eyes as well. That is despair, you're right. I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. Time for pointless jokes and jabs with pats.
Thrills! Chills!
on with this
Kills!
And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Yes, let's save it. I don't know if I got any new skills. I can't remember. No, I didn't. Wow, that's upsetting.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Okay.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Already miserable.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because... she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
I can't believe I have to prove that someone who's alive isn't dead.
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Kyoko's alive, the dead body's dead.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body didn't belong to her. The glove?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
Coming out.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
How to tell if a trial is cursed. There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're going to be stuck here and the case won't move forward because Hero's a dumbass. So I don't have any choice but to.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
Do this every time.
This entire discussion is
practicing.
idiotic.
I agree. This is stupid. No, that body isn't Kyoko, so I can prove it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Okay, then prove
The dead body wasn't.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she
Must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Can we talk about how there's no ghosts in this fucking game?
No.
Okay.
There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember?
Yeah. You can't put long nails and gloves do not work. I can 100% guarantee that.
I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Makoto underestimating a woman's vanity.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Thank you.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Oh shit.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Straight back in.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body... Oops.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
We are just okay with murder.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
My favourite thing is that this remaining group is 50% the dumbest fucking people.
Oh yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Compared with other information we have, the victim's identity should be clear. Yes? Yeah.
I got it!
Got it.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Oh, Hangman's Gambit. Can we just say dog? He's wolf. Oh, shit. F.
Now I understand!
Oh. Really not going good for
The
him.
representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
He's a doggo.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf.
Oh, are you being useful?
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Go on, Loki.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Cute doggo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right.
Stop fucking lying, you bitch.
Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to
Scary
solve the
doggo.
murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
It's spooky doggo.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
Kick it in shivers today.
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
Oh. Postman is here. Doggo's going mad.
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
You tell us this.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
You tell him, sis.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
You are talking too much. Shut up.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
Shut the fuck up.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Good on you, to be honest.
Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
I wasn't so big, man. Wasn't so big.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
No.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
It's the spooky doggo.
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I know. Me and Kyoko, right?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two. Me and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me,
No,
right?
Kyoko and me.
Why do you say that?
Because we suck.
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
This shit.
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name. But then you know what you are doing. If you clear your own name, you're blaming her. And that's not for me.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
No.
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? 9.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
What time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game has begun. So I can't provide an alibi for that period. Then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh, bugger. I got too into it.
Shoot!
I'm fine.
We've established a time frame for the murder.
It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Something that happened with God at the same time as you know. I think that corpse was almost totally dry, in which case it's better for that. Oh.
We've established a
I just did the
time
first
frame for the
one.
murder.
Right?
It took place
Somewhere between 10 o'clock at
No, that's wrong!
So you can overthink things sometimes.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly.
What?
The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
I guess.
Man, you're totally wacko.
Yeah.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Because we literally poured water on it. All I have to do is hit tag with certain evidence and that should do it. Go for the body itself, that should make it clear. No. Fuck.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me?
Oh god, I hate these.
I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me?
Don't
admit
tempo up.
nothing.
How dare you?
I hate you. No, no, no!
Thank you.
I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you.
I died again. Guess who's playing the second game on gentle?
Is this... I refuse to give up yet!
It's just the bullets thing that gets me really. So I'm like, oh shit, I've got to reload.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything.
Just do it.
Hold
kill her.
on. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Is it not?
This should prove it! Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top
I
half
wish
of the
there were
body
less of
was
those.
wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
I won't be complaining about those as much in the second game though, because there's actually more mini games in the second game than this, so I'm gonna be screwed. We'll be playing it on
If the
easiest
sprinklers
mode.
got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
That's a fat mood. God.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
Yeah.
So if the sprinklers
we
didn't
said.
get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
Yeah, I do wonder how Hiro and Jill lasted this long. Maybe it's because, obviously, Toko with her split personality, being a serial killer, is easy, but Hiro's just... Maybe he's too dumb to kill. Is that possible? Do you think someone can be too dumb to kill?
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
Tom from Tom and Jerry. Fucking hell, that's a good point, actually. He's always like fucking up, isn't he? You've done it. Hero is Tom from Tom and Jerry.
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me?
Yeah.
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
She's trying to kill me.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Oh,
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
she's trying to make me prove that. She's trying to make me prove that I'm the murderer. Certain something that's seen when she's covered the body. Can it have been...
I got it! You're talking about the tarp,
I love
aren't
this
you?
trial.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
He's shook. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to repeat what Kyoko said. Bet you didn't think we would be fighting Kyoko in this one.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
What? Okay.
Shoot!
Oh shit, I just died. Fuck's sake. I didn't realise.
I refuse to give up yet!
Didn't realise my health was so low.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
Listen all the way through.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong!
Man, I love this fucking game.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
What? The blood was camouflage.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
The chicken.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this
Somebody
time.
killed the fifth chicken.
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
They got blood right in the garden, which must mean... The chicken.
I got it! Could it
Not
have
the
been
chicken.
chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
I think I spent like 10 minutes staring at those chickens.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
Someone killed the 5th chicken.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken?
This is a
And then
double
covered
murder.
the body with its blood?
Can we hold a trial for the chicken? Who killed the fucking chicken?
Man, that's messed up.
It is.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Where the fuck do you put the chicken then? What happened to the chicken?
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Second trial, no chicken will go unaccounted. Yeah. Like, how dare we hold trials for all these idiots, but not for the chicken. Chicken justice. I require chicken justice right here, right now. I will never forgive
But
this.
that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
I fucking love this.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Just like you. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
So,
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
ugh.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we going to do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Get fucked, Makoto, get fucked.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
Because it's really suspicious.
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I shouldn't be... Man. I don't know what just happened. I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
It's a lot of percent, man. I'm impressed. Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Look at a man. He's shocking. We already established the coat we put him after the child was removed. He needs a knife to flush through coat into the body.
The knife we found, it's the same. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting
Stabbed is what killed her, right?
Stop right clicking.
No, that's wrong.
Loud in
Wait,
the hearts
hold
were
on.
stumbling.
The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
lies. We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
They're going to stab twice at the same spot. No, there's no way that's possible. condition of the body is written down for us to see.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
For fuck's sake.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
Yeah, you fucking tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I'd love it if it was spontaneous combustion, trust me.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Hina just called me dumb.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto.
Everyone frames Makoto.
And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
It was me.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Oh, I thought like it. Oh, even easier. Let's see.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
All these work areas on her body were fresh. Only these.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined.
correct?
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
I love that every time he's like, I need to concentrate. I just keep dancing for the arguments. I can't help it.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
No, that'd be a whole other injury. Then it'd be obvious. Straight through the brain.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
God, no.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
Yeah, hero. Get told.
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Look, if she's offering to fucking kill him, I'm fine.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
That'd be fine, I'd accept
I'd
it.
love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
We'll keep it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Yeah. Real murder weapon. The arrow.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back
You
of
wanna
the
know
head
who
with
did
something.
this?
And that's what killed her.
Are you confused? Your confusion.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Taking
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Q&A with Makoto. Just ask him questions to see if you can answer it. I don't blame Hina for doubting it because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Okay, what am I doing? The doctor.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong.
It's wrong.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
You can't just say, no, that's wrong. You're right.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
I was literally in there with her the other day. Fucking lovely.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer.
Do it all the time.
You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to that dojo locker.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is...
Yeah, Byakuya doesn't know the answer. Obviously, I do. He's taking all the credit from the code shit. I'm just, had enough, you know?
Right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Oh, Makoto, I love you.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her,
Yes.
aren't you?
I am. You're correct. Because she's my queen. She's my top class lady.
No, it's not that I want to defend her.
Don't
It's
lie.
just... There's one more thing I need to ask her.
What?
Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Do you love me?
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you?
She is. She's the best. She's like, if you had a list of top 10 waifus for me, she's fucking up there.
Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me. Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
She's the sauce to your tacos. That's a really good one.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it.
You keep asking her to sit on your face, and she's just, I don't think she's up for it, man.
Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone. What does that mean? That means he had her key.
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
No. Good. You can have your key. What do you mean?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong.
God, I'm so smart.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
His face. Yeah. I love it when he's wrong, because it makes the best face.
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly
Like,
put
oh,
the
shit,
locker
I'm
key in
wrong.
there myself.
Hate that.
Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us. The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko. You have a request? What may I do for you? Subnautica. Me? Me play Subnautica. I mean, can give it a go. Yeah. I'll give it a look-see. My mates will find that fucking hilarious. Yep, I can give it a go. But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... Oh, you don't have to gift it to me. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm not the kind of person that takes that kind of stuff. I'll get it. The mastermind's trap? I'll feel really bad. The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. The only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap? If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether to expose Kyoko's lie. Right. Now I have a question for you. Because between pursuing the lie and letting it go, if you pursue it, you get a different ending. And it's just this short little funny thing that I find hilarious. And if you want to see it, I don't mind doing it. Yeah, pursuing the lie, you get this, I mean, it's like it sends you right back here to this point after that ending thing. It's quite funny. I'll do it just so you can see it, and then we'll continue on with the game.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you.
Okay, doke.
So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Sorry, honey. Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth he wants to keep hidden. I was worried it was going to make me do a bullet time battle then with her. I would have not won.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten
into my room.
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to
Sorry,
escape
hon,
it.
I'm doing it for the end.
So I lost.
I wanted to show it off.
That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
Very dodgy.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
He's being really suspicious. Suspicious Monokuma. There isn't a time limit. It's just Monokuma being a dickhead. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. You got it right. Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? Good. Something strange is going on here. Something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Is everybody ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I'm gonna get so many copyright strikes today. I know, it does feel bad. It's horrible. Oh no, look at her face. Yeah, it's the birds and the bees, right? And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent, or regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Host Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Toko fucking died. Poor Hina. Look how happy Byakuya is that Toko's dead. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Okay. And we came straight back, so it's fine.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's
I
claim?
know. It's a good ending. A claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? We'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk involves solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? She's not wrong. I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? I have to decide right here and right now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. And we just gotta let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that is to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, Does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
Yeah, that's me.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Yeah, but someone else. Of course he does. Time's up again, apparently.
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
A, C, B, A, 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 yeah.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
That's all you see. Yeah, of course, I'm an A student, you know. That's definitely all the grades I get. I swear I only get A's. It's me! Way. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
Same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm going to end it the same way.
Thrills, chills,
Have your
kills!
heart pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko? Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
She's gonna make me cry. Just her tone of voice is gonna make me cry. Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Honey? Okay, I die now. Look, this is gonna be... Oh my god, it's double copyright. I love it. Every punishment is a copyright claim, and this is it. We're doubling up. Same punishment though. I know what waifu is about to say, Busto. You're gonna love this. Oh fuck. That timing.
What?
What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter. This is some stupid virus from that stupid guy. Was it you that followed? Was it you that followed at that specific time and it scared me? Because that was horrific timing for a Chihiro laugh. He was surprised at it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
Seems you finally made a miscalculation. Oh, our little community. Oh, that's so... You miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is you shouldn't underestimate us. You're talking like you've already won. I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never going to see him again. Place the guy in a garbage bin pit. In a way, that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still going to bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the rest of the world. Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? What the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you
say? What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend a school. One, you have to already be attending high school, and two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. Set for no life. If you come to this school, you're set to die. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Ugh. This is my home. Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area, telling me this is where I live. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First step was to start looking for a way out of here. Trash, trash. Oh look, it's the thing from the beginning. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Giant door with giant keyhole. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water. I've got some for you. Makoto's jealous of me. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-round bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was... I'm sorry. I know. You keep telling me to stop bullying Makoto, and I just keep doing it because I can't help myself. Just does it for me half the time. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. Oh, that sounds good. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. Yeah, he does make it easy. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Oh, fuck. A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? You're gonna love this. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Kyoko,
Indeed.
you look like you're doing better than I expected. She jumped into the trash for me. My trash queen. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious I'm here to help you? I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. Look at her face. She's so cute. She's the cutest. She gave her head a quick and sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. Queen has brought me food. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way down my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But, Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say a thing the second time around. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Who's cuter between Chihiro and Kyoko? Fuck. Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. We gotta save that. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to do at this school. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did. Once. Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible. Amnesia. Then is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
They were concerned for her. Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you.
However,
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there is a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to come help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition. But, I see. Your intuition was right though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Yeah, stay. Not go, stay. Stay here. Have babies. Keep going. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's a lot I don't remember. But at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Ta-da! That's my girl. I mean, it's kind of obvious. She can just touch bodies like they're fucking nothing then. The ultimate detective?
correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why do you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now. Of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope Speak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realised whatever's going on in school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And I am really on this. Come on, keep going. Keep going!
However,
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It had to do with Mukuro Kusaba, didn't it?
however...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Kusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared in retaliation. They wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you're free to explore Hope Speak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know, the footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever that master assailant was. They ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It has to be the work of the mastermind, an attempt used in the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. God. This is a lot. They're like, let's just dump it all in here. This is the most this woman has ever fucking spoke to me. But that's bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair is supposed to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. It's called 2020. The tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair.
It would seem...
The despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. And they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Fuck. Oh. Save. The ultimate despair, a group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. It is a lot. I'm stopping at it. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figure out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. It can open any door of the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? This door, up here, the big door. Hey Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key within the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. That's right. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape with I was so close. I was so close. And made our escape from the garbage pit. I got it. Thank you. Finally. We're finally free. There wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. I love this one because there's not even like a daily life, it's immediately deadly life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Fucking hell, stop upskirting, please. Have some respect. And thank you, Makoto, for going first. That's a good man. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey,
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you and you will fucking die. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. You can't sit on your face on a ladder though. She will die. You will both die. Come on, man. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said that you're ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
so...
Ever since I can remember. Sorry, my dogs are going fucking mental downstairs. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. No, it's fine. There was just someone at the door. They're fine now. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can say it's entirely rational. I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and what we do must protect it. Our Assassin's Creed. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose, to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing that it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect. I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. She's like, nah, fuck him. I'm fucking deadbeat. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You'd have so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the rest of the family. It's a bit dickish, isn't it? Not long after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. Fucking hell though. Like, imagine you're a kid, right? Your family's like, your dad's like, I'm cutting off all ties with my family and your mum's just died, so I'm running. What a dick. Fuck. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. Fuck. Fucking hell. My girl's got daddy issues. I'm okay with it. I'm sure there's a reason for that. Makoto, you can't justify this shit, man. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. What queen? If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative. I mean, absolutely, she's said a lot lately, it's crazy. And more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of the family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. Fuck. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection's through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. She's right though, like... Yeah. I'm surprised I'm not crying, to be honest. You need to have a word with those onion cutting ninjas. Yeah, you probably should. They need to stop hurting the eyes. I kept climbing up the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Look at that Makoto ass. Yo, yo, yo. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of the door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash bin? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Oh, here goes nothing. What, are we not meant to be enjoying Makoto's ass? Look, you complain about me bullying him. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened up without ease, and so... Don't fall down it though. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favour. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too, you helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Look, be nice to Be nice to Makoto's ass, okay? That's all he's got going for him. He attracted her somehow, so I'm assuming that's it. Wait, that's...
However,
If we tried to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
because
Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You've said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was.
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us to go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma said Monokuma should be on the gym.
Shall we go?
He's always in the gym. Let's get going. Okay. Yes. Walking towards the gym. Walking to the gym. No, I just keep making noises. I'm like a child. Jim. I feel like this is.
Well now.
Hey. Joko, I don't mind so much.
I
Makoto's
don't
supposed
believe
to be
it!
dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really going to be okay? He was supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What we did?
Shing!
The guilty party is exposed during the class trial. They alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I'll go
Making
punish
me
you again.
angry!
And this time, I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko,
Right.
do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now,
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh?
I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you want an excuse to kill me.
in other
I was
words,
supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? What are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto as the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realised that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well. She's fucking straight up responding.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machine. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
And now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makura. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you'd so love to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but absolute hope in our hearts. Don't know where the word absolute came from for me, but it worked.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey.
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey.
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you killed Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
Then I suggest you take my advice. So what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you will follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
You're fucking him up.
Hey.
Well, would that make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, the end of the fucking game. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Bear it!
Very interesting indeed. Very.
What's wrong?
I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for bear jokes. Now what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words...
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Bear it!
But this is the long-awaited climax. Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried. All the mysteries. That's right, every last mystery that's pouring around the school. If you can do that...
I can barely contain myself!
Then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Let's bear it all. It's just got very dark very simply. Okay. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of this school,
you guys!
Then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey.
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? Where one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
Remember that for sure. So what?
Hey.
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception, then it's a part of the regulations. Which would have mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know. Okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people that can take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to
angry.
you. So get lost, would you? Why so mad?
Whew.
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting ready. I super do the extra special punishment overflow with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay? That's too many who's. You've got to stop. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. You're always in her debt, huh? She's better than us. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however...
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true.
Whew.
But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So...
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
Because...
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let their guard down, like I said. So when was it the mastermind let their guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they'd hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what do you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing's extremely difficult to pull off.
However...
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
In other words...
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason.
So...
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
It would seem...
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all the rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anyone.
In other words...
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
Correct.
Prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey.
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You talk about hope, right?
That's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink in despair. The mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would advise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At the least, that's how those that are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That's precisely the reason. No matter how much they hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Yes, pretty smart. Pretty smart. Smart. Yeah, there's some smart people around here. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me and the path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. It took a small sign. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanour is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Those are some big words and I cannot process them, sorry. Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together and everyone to destroy the mastermind. Fucking hell. Can you guys just stop talking? Work together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Fuck. Yeah, I think this is today's end point, to be honest. Because I know that the rest of the game is just investigating and yeah. Has it been 4 hours? Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah, this will probably be one and done tomorrow, I think. I hope. Oh. Let me out. Let me go free. Always save twice there. Thanks for watching though, man. Oh, you stuck around for quite a lot of it. Glad you like it here. It's been a good, what is it? Probably like a month now or so. Almost a month I've been going at this. Yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and then I'll let you know if and when I am on tomorrow. You're watching for Kyoko. Cheers. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, have a good day. See you on Discord. I have to go and move my legs. You too, man. See you around.